All right, good evening, class. Quick reminder, lesson 6 has been extended because of the dates were off on the spreadsheet from, what do you call it, midterms, or spring break. So we have a catch-up week, which is good. If you're missing late work, you better send me some emails, and we'll have a discussion about grading. There's quite a few of you out there that our participation is low. And if you need some extra help, reach out. I'm here. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. So today's the 7th. We're finishing up list 6. We have 4 more weeks after this. We're looking at lesson 7. Then lesson 8 is kind of extended lesson. There'll be no quiz on lesson 8 and no challenges. It's basically getting you ready for your final, as well as talking about some pretty cool concepts, sub-process, how to interact with operating systems and systems. So it's more taking all the fundamentals we've covered and now placing them to leveraging computer science in like the methods of cybersecurity, pulling information off a machine, a remote machine, real stuff, system administration. So that's all fun and games, right? So let's take a look at the individual or the group lab for lesson 6, which we're still on lesson tuples. Group lab is write a program with functions and mainline logic, which prompts the user to enter a number. It generates that number of random integers, stores them in a list, and then does the lowest, highest, sum, average, all that fun stuff. So min, max, sum, and average. Not too bad, right? We can take care of business pretty quickly and efficiently with all the tools we know. Let's get the shell back up. So I have the template up. I have the main menu and try. Some error handling in here, some try again, and end program. This is, of course, the template. Feel free to use it if you want. You could go ahead and adjust it as needed. Let's see. I think I'm going to add a heading in here. Welcome to the program. And what we'll do is define heading or welcome. I'll just go ahead and cut all this, paste all this right here. And let's see, we'll call on our main. Do this properly. If name, of course, is equal to main. And then we'll run our main function. And right off the rip, we'll run our heading in main. We'll try task on the user, get rid of all this. We'll kill everything right to here. Let me do this again. Backspace all that stuff. Stick in our try bubble, call on heading. Let's go ahead and let this rip. Add in a couple passes here on some other defined functions that we're currently not using. Save it, hit F5. Oh no, what'd I do there? So it's telling me, what is it telling me that I did wrong here? We said error again. Expected indent block after accept. Okay, cool. So try accept. I'll just do a print test for now. We'll come back to that. Cool. Welcome to the program. So we got our heading working. That's all good to go, right? Let's see what we got going on here. So we got to enter a number, right? So in our main, we got our try. Import the random module. We only need random integer, right? So we'll say from random, import rand int as ri. That's cool. It is ri this time. And let's see what else we got going on. We're going to need an empty list. So we'll just call it list of ints, list of integers, and we'll just call it a list, open, close. So now that's empty. And we need some user input. Got our heading. Let's go user in. And of course, this is going to be an integer, not a string. Input. And we'll say enter, what is it, between 1 and 50? Enter a number between 1 and 50 to create list of random integers /t. That should be it, right? And we'll see how that goes. Make this big. So we got our list of randoms. Let's see how we go so far. Save F5. Enter a number between 1 and 50, 33. Enter. It ends. That's right where we're supposed to be. We didn't call it anything yet. So now comes the fun stuff, the logic, right? So now we say for each item in, let's say, range of user in, and now we'll create the list of ints. List of ints, we'll append those, and we'll say RI 0 through 50. Right? Let's see if that makes sense. 0 through 50. That should be good. Let's see how this looks. We'll print list of ints, save F5, let's stick with 33, hit enter, and there's our list of random integers. There may be doubles in there, it's no big deal, right? So this is just for testing purposes, we can comment that out. So now we need the min-max, all kinds of fun stuff. Well, that's too easy, right? So now that we have our list, we can print our list, but we'll do that in a minute. Let's do, let's call it highest, or we can call it whatever we want. We got sum. Well, sum is too much, we'll call it total. We'll call it lowest. And average, right? The highest would be, of course, the max of list of ints. The total, of course, is sum list of ints. The lowest is bin list of ints. And the average is, of course, the average will be the total divided by the length of list of ints. Divided by length of list of ints. What do we call that? Relevant. And now we do is print those out, right? So we do F statements, print, let's just test them out real quick. We'll go highest. I'll just copy this. And you could do them all in one line if you did a F statement, right? You could just go. Let's say the max is, and then you could do a new return and say the bin is, what we call it, lowest. I don't really condone doing it all in one line, but you can. Let's see, the sum of list is, called it total. And the more that you just type, and if you're not paying attention or using like a scripted an IDE, you just more prone to error occasionally. You know, especially the way I type late at night, pretty bad, right? The average is, and of course that is average. And we'll see how this looks. Save F5. 33 random test. Well, what happened? Something failed, right? But what failed? Right? Let's see if we can see with our eyes really quickly. Range, user in, for item and append RI. What are we appending? Each list of, maybe that's it, right? Append, random integer, list of int, append, random integer. Well, we can always just take this off, right? Get our true error. You know, this is looking for an accept though, and finally block. So this is the part that I don't like about try except. I use logging a lot. Of course, you can use logging along with this, but you know, in order to run this, now it's going to keep complaining about indentations and where did we mess up, right? So this is a pain in the butt. This is why a lot of folks use integrated scripting environments or IDEs. That's cool. List event is not defined. Did you mean list event? So it's a misspelling. I event, right? Quick. Let's see. I event. Yep, meant it right here. L event. I wonder if that's the only place. Let's see. Okay, cool. We're back in business, right? So we can highlight all these again. Tab them over. Take off our try. Take off. Now, if we were catching the proper error, this would have done work just fine. We can catch a value error later. Bop, bop, bop. So we got a name error here. That's cool. We'll work with that. But this looks okay. Of course, we could format this to 2 lines. Got our functions built in here. It's okay. Do we want to try again? This we can grab from one of our other programs and throw it in the end here after print. Would you like to guess more random integers and have it loop? Of course, end the program. You can go ahead and end the program however you see fit using system exit, import system and exit. But at the end of the day, start using functions. Always use functions, right? Makes a lot easier. Plus, you can grab, like I mentioned, grab a different code from other things we've already written. So that's about it. You know, it's not bad to append a list. Your group or your individual exercise is the states and abbreviations. Get is your best friend. Find is your best friend. In is your best friend. And of course, the key value for your dictionary. Now, for a dictionary, the methods that are going to help you succeed here are, of course, the keys, dictionary.keys method, dictionaries.items method, dictionaries.values method. Those will give you lists of items, so you don't have to damage or wreck your original dictionary. You could create lists from your dictionary and use them if you wanted to. If you want to use a dictionary, of course, get is awesome because then you can get a key to get the value returned. And we discussed that last week. But yeah, that's about it for lesson fun-filled 6. We'll go into more detail with files next week, and grades will be updated by next Tuesday. If you're missing anything for lesson 6, get it in. I know there's quite a few folks that have not turned in their homework yet. Check the calendar. It's been updated. We are good to go, and have a good evening.